everyone, it's Chloe. This is my channel, Beans and Skeins, where we talk about knitting and sewing and reading and other joyful hobbies. Today, I'm so excited. I really wanted to share my spring 2025 knitting plans with you. I cannot believe that we are at spring already. I feel like we just started winter. If you want to follow along my crafty and cozy journey, I'd love for you to like the video or subscribe to my channel or both. This just helps you and other like-minded people find my channel more easily and helps us to create a really cozy community here on YouTube. This past winter, I shared that I wanted to finish up a couple existing whips, including my VV Pullover and my Audrey sweater, both by Sari Nordland. And I also shared that I wanted to work on the broom sweater by Andrea Mowry, the Talia shawl by Sari Nordland, the Amy slipover by Sandus Garn, as well as the Tonight top by Lily Kate France. Since then, I have finished my VV pullover and I have made some really good progress on my Audrey sweater, but since I've been working on quite a few big cable projects recently, I'm totally happy to not commit to finishing that this season and just work on it on and off as I want to, and then possibly if it gets to summer and I'm not done, I may just put it on hold until the fall and pick it back up then, because it's a very thick, heavy cable sweater in a very autumnal color. I won't be wearing that in summer. So if I don't finish it by May, I think it's totally okay just to put it aside, pick up something a bit more relevant for the season, and then put it back on my needles maybe in August or so. Other than that, I have finished both a broom sweater and the Talia shawl, as well as cast on the Amy slipover by Sandus Garn. And the only thing that I haven't actually actioned yet from my winter plans is the Tonight top by Lily Kate France. And most importantly, of the projects that I have finished recently or am currently working on, I love all of them. I have been so happy with how they've been turning out, and I've been getting lots of wear out of them. And so for me, this is a big step up from previous seasons where I've cast on projects without really considering if they fit into my wardrobe, or picking yarn in colors that haven't really been to fit into my style, and then I finish something and I'm not inspired to wear it. But that has not been the case this winter, which I'm really happy about. Over the next few months, other than continuing to work on my Audrey sweater and other projects like my Amy slipover and potentially a couple pairs of socks, I have also found a few patterns that I'm really excited to work on. First is the cord sweater, or a modified cord sweater by Meghan Babin from Hudson and Westco. So this is a worsted weight all over cable sweater in a raglan style that is knit from the bottom up in pieces and then seamed together. And it has a really, really beautiful all over braid repeat on the body and the arms, as well as a really interesting detail for the raglan decreases. I'm not sure whether to call it a raglan or not, because it is knit in pieces and then seamed together. I'm not sure if a raglan must be knit in one piece, but it does look like a raglan. So this pattern will be for my partner. I recently finished the Kintra sweater for him and he loves it. He wears it constantly, and we actually just got engaged, which is super exciting. But he suggested to me, well, hinted not so subtly, that, you know, now that he has a boyfriend sweater, now that he's my fiance, he should also have a fiance sweater. And he's extremely knit worthy. He takes really good care of everything that I've made him, and he wears it constantly, so I'm so excited to make him something else. He indicated to me that he would like a cable pattern, like all over cables. He has seen my Audrey sweater and he really thinks it's really beautiful. And so I picked out a few patterns to show him, and the cord sweater by Meghan Babin was the one that he picked out as his favorite. But the cord sweater is a worsted weight yarn knit at a 30 stitch per 10 centimeter gauge, and we live in quite a moderate climate. I don't think it's going to be practical for me to knit him a worsted weight sweater at that snug of a gauge, especially cables, because that kind of adds some bulk and adds some weight and warmth. I just don't think he's going to be able to wear it all that often. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the cord sweater as my inspiration, and I've picked the, what's it called? weld. It's the Hudson and West yarn. The pattern is designed for their forge yarn, which is worsted weight. I'm gonna go with the weld yarn, which is a fingering sport weight yarn, semi-woolen plied. So it should bloom and plump up a lot after finishing the project. Okay, buddy. And I think that knitting something at with that yarn at, let's say, like a 22, 23 stitch gauge is going to be a lot more wearable for him, and he'll actually be able to wear it for most of the season rather than trying to knit something out of a worsted weight gauge at a 30 stitch per 10 centimeters. Words are really hard right now. It would be way more wearable for him to have something lighter and less dense, is essentially just what I'm trying to say. And we have picked the yarn, so it is going to be the Hudson and West weld in the color Lake, which, if you know what a great blue heron looks like, it looks like great blue heron blue. It's like a blue-gray, medium, it's not too dark, not too light, and he wears a lot of kind of like greens and kind of khaki and medium to dark wash jeans, and so I think that this blue is going to match really well with those. And I've bought the yarn. Haven't gotten it yet, so I can't show you, but I'm really excited to work on this. I have told him, and I'm telling you, I'm not going to be finishing this before summer. I will start it. I'm hoping to maybe get the yoke done, and that way kind of the hardest part is through, and then potentially putting it on hold, picking it back up next fall, and finishing it up then for the fall season for us. The next idea is based on picking a pattern for a yarn that I already have in stash. So I would really love to use the Cotton Lino by the Wandering Flock, which is a cotton, linen, silk, and alpaca blend. And I have it here in the color Sand, which is like a warm beige. I really desperately want to use this. I think it's so incredibly soft, and it's going to make a really beautiful drapey fabric for some kind of garment. And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it this spring so that it's ready for summer. I'm torn between the Ponni pullover, Ponni? I think it's Ponni, P-O-N-N-I, or the Oleander pullover, which are both patterns by Audrey Borrego. The Ponni sweater is knit top down, drop shoulder, all over texture. On the yoke there is broken rib. On the body there is this really cool chevron stitch that I've actually never seen before, and then on the sleeves it looks to be maybe like a micro cable where you're just maybe twisting one stitch at a time, and they're kind of spaced apart, so it creates a bit of interest. It's not just plain stockinette, but it's not intense cabling like, you know, the Audrey sweater. The Oleander sweater is knit bottom up. It's all over lace, also drop shoulder. It does have a shallow v-neck, though I think I would probably try to modify that into a round neck. That's just more my style. The lace on this pattern is incredibly beautiful. I love it. The only reason why it's not a solid 100% plan is because the lace intimidates me a little bit, and I don't knit it very often. And I don't necessarily like knitting lace as much as I like knitting other textures, but I think that the end result of this pattern, especially knit in like a drapey sport weight gauge yarn like this one in this color, would be so nice. I don't even know why I'm weighing the two. I'm gonna knit the Oleander sweater by Audrey Borrego. There, that was easy. I think that this yarn is gonna be perfect for that, and because it's quite drapey, I think it's gonna lend itself really well to how open the stitch pattern is. So my hope for this sweater is that by knitting something on an open gauge in a summer friendly yarn, it is good for transitional seasons, kind of like spring into summer, and also good for in the summer during transitional times of day, kind of, you know, when you get into the evening and it's a bit chillier. We live by the ocean, so I think that's enough said. We live by the ocean. It can be a little bit breezy. Also, both of these knitting patterns are free. The designer, I believe, recently decided that she's not going to be designing professionally anymore, and she wanted to keep her patterns up on Ravelry, so she's made them all free. Her designs are stunning. There are so many patterns in her pattern catalog that I want to knit. They're incredible, beautiful. Pullover. Is it not for you? No, it's not for you. Another pattern that I'm pretty sure I'm going to knit this spring is the Irene Pullover by Irene. It is a cable and lace pullover pattern that has both short sleeve and long sleeve options. I really love this one because it pairs like a nice simple cable with quite a wide lace repeat, and so I think that helps add some interest. It makes it airy, it makes it breezy. It would be perfect for summer, and again kind of leaning into that transitional, good for spring, good for evenings. We live on the coast, like I mentioned, it gets windy, it'd be perfect for that. I am also obsessed with the yarn that I want to knit it in. This is Ovis Etc. Igne in the color Curry. This is a fingering weight. It is 60% wool, 20% rami, which is a cellulose fiber, and 20% silk. The 40% summery friendly fibers are going to help it be light and airy and drapey and breezy. That's what I want. Light, airy, drapey, breezy. Not too much to ask. So this pattern is knit at a 20-stitch gauge, and I'm going to be going with the long sleeve version, and I think I'm going to be finishing it along the neckline, the hem, and the arms with I-cord. I keep saying I'm going to knit something with I-cord edging, and I have yet to do it. I think this is going to be the one. I also still really want to make the Tonight Top by Lily Kate France. This is a mock neck tank top with a really clean arm finishing, which is one of the things that has kind of made me interested in this pattern. And it was on my winter plans list, but just didn't quite make it on my needles. I have yarn for it already, which is Quince & Co. Chickadee in the color Peacock. It's a beautiful teal blue and unimportant, but it matches my engagement ring, which I love. And I've just been holding on to this yarn. I originally bought it for my Talia shawl, decided it wasn't quite right for the Talia shawl, and have been holding on to it for the Tonight Top. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to make it on my needles this spring, but I do want to knit it at some point, so we'll see. I don't think it's going to be a huge endeavor. It's stockinette, it's a tank top, no arms. I think it would be fairly quick, but we'll just see kind of what is inspiring me when I'm ready to cast on my next project. My last project idea for this spring is the Chantal sweater by Moreca Knits. It is a top-down drop shoulder sweater in all over slip stitch, and I would knit this, and like this is the whole point. The whole point is this. This is Witchfire fibers in the organic 100% superwash fingering merino, which is this stuff here, and I have their classic Surrey, which is this here, and the Surrey is really nice because it's baby alpaca, silk, and cashmere. So there's 13% cashmere in this Surrey, and it is incredibly soft. I've never felt any Surrey as soft as this. This color is called Coven Sister. I got it from the Witchfire collection pre-order back in October, and I just love it. I have been looking for a pattern to really let the color shine, but I know that I don't reach very often for my stockinette sweaters. I do have this one, which is just like a self-drafted sweater that I made a couple years ago, and I don't get a ton of wear out of it. And I really wanted something with a little bit of interest because I know that's what I reach for, and I want this desperately to be a sweater that I wear all the time. I just love it. So I'm hoping that the slip stitch kind of finds that middle ground of really just letting the color be the main attraction, but also having a bit of interest. I think even with the slip stitches, the stitch definition is going to be great. It's going to be a little bit soft, it's going to be fuzzy. I think that this color, I just love it. This color was made for me. I love it so much. I love it so much. So that's it from me for today. I will see you next time. Bye.